Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jay Mass, and I'm back again with another dope New England adventure. And it is a very lovely, albeit very windy, Saturday morning here on Martha's Vineyard. That's right, we're on Martha's Vineyard, a beautiful island off the south coast of Massachusetts, located just below Cape Cod. And more specifically, we're in the town of Chilmark, Massachusetts, located here on Martha's Vineyard. And today we're going to be checking out a site that I think often goes unnoticed by tourists and visitors here on Martha's Vineyard, and that is the Brickyard. Now, the Brickyard is something of an archaeological site with many historic ruins and remnants. You can actually see one of the major ruins right behind me, a very tall brick chimney still left behind. Now, the Brickyard had many purposes. It was actually used as early as the 18th century as a grist mill and an ironworks, but it's more well known for being a brick making site, producing clay bricks. Now, this was as early as the 1840s. However, it reached its peak by the 1860s, producing as many as 800,000 bricks annually. And these bricks were sold all throughout the Northeast, especially to major cities like Boston, Massachusetts, Newport, Rhode Island, and of course, New York City, New York. Now, unfortunately, the brick making process here on Martha's Vineyard began to dwindle by the late 19th century, primarily at this location, moving mainland to Massachusetts. And by the 1960s, this property, the Brickyard, was donated. And in 2014, it has actually taken over by the Trustees of Reservations. Today, it's completely open to the public, preserved and conserved, and you can walk around and see all the historic ruins and sites here on the Brickyard. That's what we're going to be doing today. Now, I've actually been to Martha's Vineyard a couple times. I believe this is probably my fourth time here. However, I've never actually been to the Brickyard, so I'm excited to check it out for the first time. So that's what we're going to do today. Join me as we explore the historic ruins of the Brickyard on this beautiful Saturday morning. Very windy, so as a result, I'm going to be doing a voiceover of this exploration just to be safe. I want you guys to hear me as I give you all the historical facts and details. But we're going to get started very shortly. As always, guys, my name is Jay Mass. If you love urban exploration, checking out abandoned sites, traveling New England and beyond, I'm always doing this on the channel, so feel free to subscribe to the channel. Also, shout out to all my lovely members. You can see them right here. If you want to become a member of the channel, aka an explorer, that would be greatly appreciated. You can join today, or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But let's get started and explore the Brickyard, a former brick producing site here in the town of Chilmark, Massachusetts, located on Martha's Vineyard, today owned by the Trustees of Reservations. Let's go. Located just off the wavy, shimmering coast of Martha's Vineyard, on the western portion of the island within the town of Chilmark, sits the ruins of the Brickyard, offering a glimpse into the island's often forgotten industrial past. Before it became a pivotal site for brickmaking, this location saw many other industrial uses throughout the 18th century. These included a grist mill, an ironworks, and even pigment extraction for paint production using local clay. In fact, the geological presence at this location made it an excellent site for various industries. The Brickyard sits on ancient clay deposits of various colors, which would later prove excellent for brickmaking. It was in the 1840s when brickmaking first began on the site, and the Brickyard truly formed. Using the local deposits on site, workers would hand mine the clay, then compressing and firing it into bricks for use in construction. Water was harnessed from nearby Roaring Brook for energy. By the 1860s, the Brickyard had reached its peak in operations, following an acquisition by Boston banker Nathaniel Harris. Business was booming, with the Brickyard producing 800,000 bricks per year and employing over 70 workers. Thanks to an on-site pier that once jutted out from the shore, these bricks would be loaded onto schooners for shipment to the mainland. Many of these bricks found their way to major northeastern cities for use in building, including Boston, Newport, and New York City, among others. Sadly, by the late 19th century, brickmaking on Martha's Vineyard dwindled just as it was improving and increasing on the mainland, thanks to innovations in industry and technology. The Brickyard quickly became unused, falling to neglect and decay. By the 1960s, the Harris family, who still owned the property, donated the land, a portion of which became the neighboring property, Menemsha Hills, currently owned and administered by the Trustees of Reservations. Decades later, in 2014, the trustees acquired the ruins of the Brickyard itself. Today, the site of the Brickyard is completely open to the public to explore and enjoy, although please be aware that interacting with the ruins is prohibited, and entry into the roped-off sections of the site is not allowed. Getting to the Brickyard involves a 3.2-mile round-trip hike through Menemsha Hills on the Brickyard Trail. To get there, simply park in the public lot off North Road in Chilmark and embark from the trailhead down into the woods. The trail is moderate with some uphill sections and rocky rooted terrain in other sections, but it was an overall enjoyable hike. Dotted by beautiful trees and small scenic vistas on the side, the trail slowly gets sandier as you progress towards the beach before eventually reaching the Brickyard itself. On the site, you'll find many remnants of the brickmaking days, including the imposing 45-foot-tall brick chimney, a water wheel, many rusted tools, and old granite blocks scattered around from the building's foundations and walls. And, of course, you get stellar views of the ocean and nearby cliffs, right off the shores of the Brickyard. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. I've been Jay Mass as always, and this has been another dope New England adventure. And today we explored the Brickyard, a historic archaeological site with many remnants and ruins left behind here in the town of Chilmark, Massachusetts, in beautiful Martha's Vineyard. And I had a great time exploring it. You know, as I mentioned, I'd been to Martha's Vineyard many times before, but I never made it over to the Brickyard, so I'm really glad you guys got to join me on my very first time exploring that super interesting historic site with a lot of stuff left behind to see. You know, as I mentioned, the Brickyard first began producing bricks in the 1840s, reaching its peak in the 1860s, producing about 800,000 bricks every year, which is crazy. You know, shipping it all over the Northeast to many cities like Boston, Newport, New York City. And unfortunately, began to dwindle in the late 19th century as the brick-making processes moved mainland. By the 1960s, the land was donated, and by 2014, the Trustees of Reservations took over, and that's who still owns it today, the Trustees. So anyone can come to the Brickyard. It's open to the public. There's a beautiful walking trail you can take to get there. That's actually what I'm doing right now, walking to my car right now. But the trail is lovely, the hike is lovely, and of course, the Brickyard is lovely. You get beautiful sweeping ocean views, beautiful cliffs. It's a great time. So if you're in Martha's Vineyard, why don't you take a step away from all the touristy stuff and come check out the Brickyard. That's my recommendation for you. And just Menemsha Hills in general. Beautiful place here in Chilmark, which is a town I think doesn't get as much love as the other towns here in Martha's Vineyard. But anyways, guys, that's about it for today. My name's Jay Mass. If you love urban exploration, checking out abandoned sites, traveling New England and beyond, I'm always doing that on the channel. Shout out to all my members, of course. You guys are awesome. You can see all my members right here, and I would love to see your name on that list as well. So feel free to join today, become an explorer. I'd appreciate that. You'd be supporting me and the channel directly. Always uploading exclusive content there. Or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But yeah, guys, that's about it. That was the Brickyard here in Chilmark. I'm heading back to my car, and then I'm going to be driving to Oak Bluffs, which is actually the town here in Martha's Vineyard I'm staying in. Pretty excited for that. Going to have some great seafood and stuff today. So I will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.